Hey guys, welcome back to Defeating Hair Loss. My name is Steve. I'm here tonight again with Bobby D.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back.
Back again, Steve.
How you doing today?
Doing great. They should let me be on your channel.
My pleasure. With that hair, yeah, anybody's got your hair can come on this channel anytime.
Appreciate it, Steve.
And the fact that you got a hair transplant to get that hair makes it even better. Welcome back.
Thanks, Steve.
Now, we had spoke, Bobby and I had talked, we kind of set up. He's a great model. I love having him here. He's my youth. He's, what I couldn't get at that age. So it all comes to fruition now where I'm able to celebrate Bobby's success. We're gonna be hitting the gym soon. We're gonna be bringing a bunch of stuff with how hair ties into the image and how you feel when you're working out. We're going to the gym. We're trying to get better, feel better, eat better, look better, all that stuff. And then Bobby hit me with a question. So I said, that'll make a great video. So remind me again, what was it?
Yeah, of course, Steve. I'm on YouTube myself with my hair videos with you on it, of course. And I was going on YouTube looking at stuff, and I got some marketing and some stuff about hair. I think it's hair systems. They would just keep popping up, and I'm not familiar with hair systems. I know you kind of are, so I kind of wanted you to tell your story on that.
Very cool. That's great. I guess when you're looking for content and you're kind of searching out there, and those of you that are still kind of like in the closet, so to say, it's always been that way. It's kind of like a personal thing. Even married guys, they'll kind of go into the office late at night. It used to be late night infomercials, and they'll try to figure out, man, am I losing my hair? What am I going to do? And they start researching. And then a lot of these advertisements and marketing pop up. So it's a great question. And while we're on the subject of hair systems, I love hair systems. I am a hair system guy. We're going to throw a couple photos of me up on this video, starting at the ripe young age of 23 years old. Now, I've already gone through a couple hair transplants. In those days, they called them the plugs, and that was not fun. And it didn't really give you any kind of results like we look at today or we see today. What it did was it just kind of filled in areas and zones. It was actually, can't believe I'm saying this, great for the crown because it was just to fill. It wasn't to create any kind of artistry in the hairline, which was really challenging. They used to refer to those days as the doll's head look or cornrows. That was also a slang. So at 23, I was already fed up with hair transplants. I put a wig on my head and I was rocking and rolling. And
you were, Steve. I saw the pictures. I was like, whoa.
It was amazing. I was like, wait a second. That's not John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, but that's definitely close.
Yeah, that's Steve Cook, man.
So I'm back. I lost my hair at 17. I was kind of bald at 18. And I tried the hair transplant thing. Didn't really work out for me. That's okay. Nobody did anything wrong. But man, when I put a hair system, an integration system on my head, it was done. It was lights out. I was a happy man. All right. So, now let's talk about limitations, limitations as far as what you can do, what you can't do. Obviously, this is not growing out of your scalp, but I'm not here trying to talk you into a hair system. What I am here and what we're going to talk about today is you to maybe test it out, test the water, see if you like it. Very, very less expensive than a hair transplant. And guess what? It's not permanent. Before we do that, let's have some more fun. So then I was hanging out in the gym and I had my hair and I was starting to rock and roll with the bodybuilding. And by the way, we'll do other videos on that. The bodybuilding was always about covering up for my insecurities because I didn't have any hair. So now I've got this kind of buff body. Some guy comes up to me in the gym and he's like, hey, this guy's like 6'4", he's got long dark hair. This was like the mid 80s. He's like, you ever think about being a male dancer? And I'm like, no. Long story short, he sees me with the system on, and I was kind of the blonde version of him, although not 6'4". And it came to one thing after another. I ended up becoming what they call like the Chippendale dancers, something like that right there. That's none of those is me. Isn't there you in there? And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a poor man's version of a rock star? Yeah, so we'll throw a couple other photos up there of me kind of looking like that so you can have some fun and have some laughs. The whole point is, man, these guys, it takes a lot to get up there, to do that, to take off your clothes, take off your shirt, just your shirt, right? In front of a bunch of women. You better be rock hard, you better be, better have good hair. And that's what the system had done for me. There is no way in a million years, the couple hair transplants I had first at like 19, 20 would have done anything for me. And there's no way I'm getting up on stage and taking off my shirt and walking around without hair. maybe I'm wrong, maybe today's standard, and maybe I'm a little bit older now, you can shave your head, throw on a couple tattoos, take off your shirt and walk around like that. And then guess what? If you have a great body, I'm sure you can. I mean, the pro wrestlers do it. But it's always been about the full package. And without the hair, you just don't have options. So what Hair Systems did for me is it turned my life around, even though it was in an artificial way. When I looked in the mirror, that was not artificial. That was good. When you look in the mirror, that's not artificial.
No.
And I felt really good. And I'm just being honest, like I always am with everybody out there. And thank you again for watching. A couple examples of Hair Systems. This is just history. Some of you may or may not recognize these names. You know, William Shatner from Star Trek. I think he's still alive. He went up to the outer space in the SpaceX thing or something. Elton John, everybody knows Elton John. And then a little bit for the older old timers, Burt Reynolds, who was one of the top A-list actors in Hollywood for years and years and years. These guys had a lot of money. They had a lot of money young, and they lost their hair young. They were victims, if you want to call it that, of the plugs. So they just kept spending money, and they took pretty much all the hair out of the back of their heads. Sounds familiar? You don't want to do that. And they transplanted it up there, and then these guys, to my knowledge, still had some hair. So again, the plugs were kind of like, you know, scattered out in kind of like a grid, a little bit like a cornrow, and then their other hair blended in, and they were good until they lost their original hair, their native hair, because that's right, you said it, there is no finasteride, minoxidil.
Just out of luck.
Yeah, out of luck, right? So those guys ended up putting Hair Systems on and continuing their careers. And even to this day, Elton John, he looks fantastic. I'm a huge fan of Elton John.
Yeah.
Love his music, always have loved his music. Now he's got, you know, the sunglasses, the platform boots and all that kind of stuff. And he looks fantastic. He couldn't pull that off without a hair system. So credit to them in getting over kind of what I got over, this hair loss thing, moving on with their careers. Modern day hair systems are different. Although you guys might get a chuckle or two out of my photos, and I'm sure you will, and I knew how to work hair. So they look pretty good.
They did look good.
I will say that, right, Bobby?
They did look good.
They look okay,
Y'all
right?
see.
It's a little bit, you know, the old school style hair because nobody walks around with that much hair. But when you're in your 20s, you can wear any kind of hair you want. I mean, Justin Bieber could do that hairstyle in like a month. You know, he could just grow his hair out. The Backstreet Boys, you know, a couple of those boy bands, they all got that hair. I had that hair, just like that.
Just like that.
Thank you for those years. But that was not real. And that was always kind of lingering inside me. And of course, it goes on, and you know the rest of the story. The modern day hair systems are much lighter. They're much easier to work with. And they're permanently kind of placed on your scalp, and they need to be kind of redone every couple weeks. But they look amazing, and there is no way you can figure out that someone's wearing a hair system. So 2 things that I'd like to present to anybody that's considering getting something done with their thinning and their balding, or they don't have hair, is take a look at the option, because at least if you don't want to do it and you're not really good with a round brush or a blow dryer like I was, or you don't know how to use gel, you don't want to use gel, you don't want to do any maintenance, but at least you know what you look like with hair, and I think you're going to like it, and that's a great option. Last thing I'll say is, way back, now we're talking about the same era of the Burt Reynolds, the Elton Johns, William Shatner's, Cy Sperling. He launched Hair Club years and years and years ago. It became a national icon. He used to hold up his picture and say, I'm not just the owner, I'm a client too. And I've never met Cy, but I've met and worked with many, many, many of his underlings. They're a fantastic company. They make a great product. They're all over the country. But if you're in Houston, Texas, make sure you visit TM Hair, because they're kind of like a McGrath Medical of the non-surgical hair replacement, meaning they're a boutique, they're mom and pop. So if you're anywhere near Houston, this is a local thing. You can't keep driving or flying to get these things kind of fixed, so it's got to be local. So if you're in Houston, you want to check out TM Hair. Other than that, I'm a big fan of Hair Club. They have a lot of different solutions. They talk about medications. They give you a great educational consultation and things like that. But non-surgical hair works. How do you like that?
Works for me. See, it worked for you. I saw the pictures. I couldn't believe it.
Well, you know, and listen, you know, like today, right? Like, I'm sure, like I always talk about the Kardashians, you know, they're beautiful women, all of them, you know, they kind of take all these like, thousands of photos, and you can see them sitting there at the boardroom, you know, no, I don't want that one. I want that one. I want that one. I want that one.
The best lighting.
So imagine walking around in your life where every day you had to make sure the hair not only looks good, but doesn't look like a hair system. It's kind of like twofold, you know? How does it look over here? How does it look over here? You might say that's a little exhausting. I enjoyed it so much. I miss my hair system. Oh, and then the last thing is we're gonna throw a picture up of me just recently where I kind of put something on in the front just to show you how you can actually enhance your already great hair lines or transplanted hairlines, or maybe you've got thinning hair in the hairline and you don't want to get a transplant. You've gotten on the medication and your hair's thick, but it needs a little bit of hairline. The last one we're going to show you is just a little bit of like hairline, non-surgical hairline, which pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's a lot, it's a big, long video. I know nobody likes to watch long videos, but you know what? It's a lot of important information. It's fun. I'm looking back on my life. I love explaining kind of what I went through. So maybe that'll touch on some of you so that you're going through the same thing. You'll be able to allow me to help you. And Bobby, he's just a stud. What else can I say?
I do my best, Steve.
Thank you.
Try to be like you one day.
Thank you for listening, Bobby.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Hey, again, hope this helps with you with your journey through hair loss and hair restoration. Don't forget to like and subscribe.